Greetings and welcome to your Oracle message for the day. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. This is a timeless reading for the collective, so whenever and however you come across this video, it's the right time for you to be getting this message. And we've been going through our mega deck, pulling one card randomly every morning. Today's card is pulled from the Angelic Messengers Oracle deck by Meredith Young-Sowers, and today's card is card number 12, representing forgiveness. And before we go on the book, and we will go through the book, and it's an extended reading from the book because it's the workbook version of this deck that I've got. And if you've noticed, when we pulled cards from this deck in particular, the cards have a little bit of a bend, a little bit of a warp to them. Well, they were printed in 1993, so over the years they have developed their own little patina, if you will, their own shape, their own personalities in a way. And so that is the reason why this card looks like it's a little tilted. It's because it is. And these cards are photographed by my little camera, aka my cell phone. I work very low tech here on this channel. I'm not about the bells and whistles. I'm about the message. So thank you so much for joining us on this venture today. And like I said, before we go through the book, I always want to get the information, the messages, the energy that's coming directly to us from the image of the card, from the words, if the authors of the particular deck that we're working with have used any kind of words and or numbers. So today we are working with the number 12, which has a very strong spiritual significance in and of itself. I'm sorry, I had to sneeze. The number 12, we have 12 months in our calendar year. There were 12 disciples. The number 12 has so many very strong spiritual significances through the world, through different religions and philosophies, but it also reduces down to a 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. And we know that 3 is the first of the perfected Tesla 369 numbers. With that 3, the reason why, it is the strongest number. It is the most complete number. It is the most whole number. Why is that? Well, because we start out, we think of it in terms of our dimensions and in terms of our reality. We live in the third dimension. We have 3 dimensions. We have up, down. We were just talking about this. I think it was in the Love Seat Therapist episode. Up, down, back and forth, right and left. Okay? We have 3 different axes that we work with in our reality. So the number 3 has a very strong significance there. It's the first number that allows you to create a geometric structure. When you have a 1 dimension, you just have a dot. It's just the single dimension. It is the identity of self. With the second dimension, you have 2 points. You have a line. You can draw a line. You can draw a whole bunch of different lines, but they're still just lines. In order to have any kind of shape, you need 3 points. Hence the number 3 is the most powerful number in existence. And besides 0, I'm not going to go into that philosophy, but so the number 3 is a very powerful number. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a loaded term. It triggers so many of us. It had triggered for me for years. I think I've mentioned a couple of times on this channel and other readings, I don't like to put a lot of myself into these readings, although I am part of the collective. So my energy is going to be out there and in here with everything else, with yours as well. So, and we always are. We're always connected. We're never alone. We're never going it on our own. There's a few videos that have on YouTube that have just gotten me absolutely nuts. The string of chosen emails of separating people. Don't separate. We are not separated, regardless of anyone's philosophy, regardless of anyone's actions, regardless of who they are. We are still connected to them, and that is the heart of forgiveness, my friends, is that realization that we are no different from that serial killer. We're all humans. We're all walking on this planet. We may be doing different things. Some things bring benefit to others. Some things bring harm to others. We were just talking about judgment. That's literally what we were just talking about on the Love Seat Therapist. I had no idea I was going to pull this card today. Seriously. But I don't orchestrate these readings. I don't plan them. These are completely channeled. Everything that comes out of my mouth is unscripted, guys. So that's why you guys end up with a whole bunch of these little meandering wanderings, and I do try to keep an eye on the timer. I do. And I know this is going to be a long reading, but it's important for us to understand forgiveness. Forgiveness starts with ourselves. And again, yes, I've heard it so many times in the past when I wasn't ready to listen, when I wasn't ready to hear the meaning behind the message. To forgive is to give ourselves first, is to give ourselves that release, to release ourselves from things that we did when we were little and we didn't realize what we were doing. Okay? Forgive yourself for things. If you caused any harm, if damage was a result of something that you did, forgive yourself. You were a child. Okay, as a teenager, were you one of those crazy teenagers that was breaking into buildings or beating people up, or were you doing drugs? Was there whatever it was that happened? Remember who you were at that moment from where you are now, and understand that while you're the same being, you're the same consciousness. That consciousness evolved. You are no longer the same person, with quotes around that word, that you were back then. Were the things that you did yesterday, were there things that you wish you had said something different, you wish you had acted some different way, or not said something, not acted? Forgive yourself first. Understand that you are a perfect being, just as the number 3 is a perfected number. You are the number 3. You literally are the 3 people, the I, myself, and me, right? You are those 3 people all in one. So no surprise that we feel a little disconnected and bipolar at times. We live in a bipolar world. We are constantly being asked to judge, to make determinations, to make definitions, to stick labels on things. And this card is just emphasizing, I cannot say it any clearer. Forgiveness is something we have to do. It's not an option. It is a requirement for survival. If we don't understand that we have to love ourselves and release ourselves from being guilty of things when we were doing the best that we could at that time with what we had. Just acknowledge it, okay? It's not saying that what you did was right. It's not saying that what you did was helpful. It's simply saying it happened. It happened and it's done. Let it go. Let it go. And the same thing applies to other people. Once we have come to that place within ourselves where we accept and understand, we are that perfected being in all of our manifestations throughout this life, throughout all of our lives, throughout all creation. We are pure consciousness, temporarily housed in a physical vessel. We're doing the best we can with what we've got, the information we've got, and the person that we are at that time. You're going to continue to make mistakes. You're going to continue to rack these up. So the question really is are you going to give yourself the opportunity to step out of that poop? Are you going to give yourself the opportunity to step into the light and get out of that shadow? Or are you going to just keep carrying it around with you forever? And the same, again, like I said, applies to how we feel about things that other people did. You want to, I grew up in an abusive home. We'll just say it that way. That was the first thing that I learned. It took me decades to assimilate and understand that my parents were limited human beings just like I am. And I can't know that myself in that person would not have done the same things that they did, or similar, or something worse. They did the best they could with what they had, what they knew, how they were raised, what they grew up with, all of those things stacked on them without the benefits that we have of understanding, of being truly awake and aware of what the heck we're doing, what we're thinking, how we're feeling, what we're saying. That's where forgiveness comes from, is understanding we've all done it. I may not be a serial killer. I may not be, somebody that runs around and hurts people, but I've done things that have hurt others. I have done things that caused harm in my past. And I have to be sure to let that go so that I give myself that gift of freedom. I don't have to carry those shackles anymore. And I don't have to carry the shackles of guilting other people in my past. I can let my mom go. I can release my dad. I can release those chains that bound me to those things that were not good, that did not bring benefit. For sure. Absolutely. Does that say I approve of them? No, absolutely not. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not saying, oh, go ahead, do it again. It's saying, I understand that that was a mistake and I'm willing to let it go and move on and not be dwelling on it anymore. Take those lessons, the blessings of those lessons, those hard-won, hard-fought blessings, and use them as the jewels, as the diamonds that they are, to bring even more light into our lives. Okay, guys, got to get on the reading from the book. Let's take a look. I haven't looked at this in forever. I have no idea what this reading actually says in the book, so we'll find out together. This is the present challenge for card number 12, forgiveness. This is a partnership card. Accepting responsibility for your life, releasing blame, and the judgment of others. You have drawn this card because immense beauty and opportunity live beneath your old emotional scars, just as we see with this beautiful image of a flower bud. I didn't even talk about the flower bud, and look at all the more buds coming up behind it and around it. That's what happens when we forgive ourselves and others, is we allow this new life, this new energy to bloom within us and within others as well. You have reached a point in your life where you are being directed to free up the energy you've tied to old feelings and failures. Even though you may have worked on your dysfunctional patterns for years, this time in your life represents the final pass-through for many of these persisting lessons. Hallelujah! It's about time. Forgiveness is the basis for spiritual work because it asserts that you can only truly know and appreciate your own life's journey and perspective. Forgiveness comes through turning your attention inward and using the spiritual energy of love to assess your own relationships. Angelic message. Forgiveness is a spiritual initiative rather than one grounded in the emotions or the intellect. It is difficult to forgive others completely without reserving that small corner of your heart that asserts that you were right and they were wrong. That is because you may be seeking to forgive others by using a rational explanation for the reason you should forgive. Truly releasing lingering remorse, guilt, or anger through reasoning is impossible. But once you realize that your failure to forgive hinders the flow of love into your life and the circulation of this essential energy throughout your body and mind, you are capable of forgiving others from a place deep within you. Love is the nature of the spiritual energy that guides your life and quite literally accounts for the inner balance that maintains physical health and emotional well-being. Forgiving others allows you to release the energy of love into your daily living. The love you need today in your life to help you meet challenges and to maintain your own inner light may still be tied to old, unresolved hurts. Any apathy you are experiencing, any confusion, lack of direction, exhaustion, or sense of being overwhelmed may well stem from captive energy held in the small corners of your heart. Love is the emotional and spiritual energy that ties you to those who have hurt you. The issues that seem to defy forgiveness are always aligned in some way with love. The love you never received, the love that you offered and others rejected or betrayed, the love that was used to manipulate or control you. Love is the basis of your life's well-being. But in tying your spiritual energy reserves to old hurts, you are severely limiting the energy of love available to you in the present moment. Perhaps this is the time to search your heart for those you still need to forgive more fully. Spiritual opportunity. The simplicity and elegance of the single purple flower image on this card shows you, quite strikingly, your guidance for this day. You have drawn this card of partnership and relationship in order to expand your current level of spiritual awareness and the love in your life. You are encouraged to release old grievances and reorder each day so that you are no longer accumulating new grievances against yourself or others. This flower image grows straight and true to its purpose. You too are emerging from times of less clarity into a more direct and fulfilling life path. This image is not shadowed in any way by yesterday's burdens or troubles, and so you are also encouraged to accept each new day without the carryover of previous troubles, burdens, and grievances. Each evening and each morning, you can move through, meditate through, and pray through previous hurts and burdens. Application. Energy follows every conversation and interaction. Ask yourself, is this exchange with my partner, friend, coworker, or child productive? Am I learning, sharing, accepting, participating, or feeling otherwise positively engaged? Have I or are they closed down? And are we only going through the motions of sharing? Experience your different responses to people and situations. Try saying to yourself, I forgive you and I forgive me for being caught in the process of change and for our being unable to see each other clearly. Sorry, got a little touch of the heart there. I forgive you and I forgive me for being caught in the process of change and for our being unable to see each other clearly. That, right there, my friends, that is the essence of forgiveness, of love. They're mutual. Love and forgiveness are just two sides of the same coin. Pay attention to the thoughts you have as you fall asleep and those that are on your mind when you wake up. These thoughts embody the situations and the people needing your forgiveness. Releasing yourself from having to be what others want or need lets you find your own true self. Be true to yourself today by forgiving everyone and everything that you meet. Then you will be free to live in love. And I'm just going to say, the image that I got so very clearly at the very end there was you with this big old ass shears, like those big bush cutting shears, you know, the ones I'm talking about, look like giant scissors, just chopping away at all of these chains that bound you to things that happened in the past, previous acts of you or other people in your life. People you may not even recognize. You're just busy chopping away at those things, man. Snip, snip, snip. You are being released. You are being freed. You are being liberated. The love you need today in your life to help you meet challenges and to maintain your own inner light may be tied to old unresolved hurts, so let them go. This is the time. This is your reading. This is your
honest forgiveness of yourself and others is where you start to live, is where you start to love, is where you start to grow into your fullest potential, your authentic self, your best self. That's where it starts. That's where it always starts, is where you are forgiving yourself and you are forgiving others. So that's our reading for the day. I do hope it blessed and resonated with you. Feel free to leave any comments if you would like to do that. Like, subscribe, share, however you feel inclined if you found any value in this content. I appreciate that. The YouTube algorithm needs all the help it can get, but I don't get any money from these videos. This will never be a monetized channel. That's not the reason why I'm here. The reason why I'm here is because you're here. So thank you so much for joining us today. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. Namaste and ciao for now.